Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I will not be starting this week off with a brief movie review, because while the live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast was released this weekend, I did not see it, and I will not be seeing it. I did pass by the movie theater yesterday, and there were huge lines outside, which I'm assuming were for that. So, it's probably going to make hundreds of millions of dollars and lead to more live-action remakes. I know they're already casting Aladdin, so, I guess when they get to, like, Pocahontas and Hercules, we'll know they're really scraping that barrel. But I just don't see the point, because every trailer that I have seen, it looks like a shot-for-shot, scene-for-scene remake. Obviously, they've included some new songs, because they need to get those Oscar nominations, which they will get an Oscar nomination for, at least one of the songs, and then for probably costuming and set design and maybe special effects, but there's a reason that the original animated Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Picture. It's amazing. It's a classic. And it's because of Beauty and the Beast that they now have a Best Animated Feature category, because it got a nomination in the legit Best Picture category, and everyone went, wait, we can't have cartoons competing with people? That's crazy. But it's wonderful. It is my favorite Disney animated film. It makes me cry every time I watch it, and I don't see the point of remaking it if you're not going to do something different. They're literally telling scene for scene the same story, but with live action people and creepy CGI characters instead of the cute animated ones. So, as far as my opinion on this Beauty and the Beast remake, you can tell me how good it is, and I'm sure it's good, because it's literally the same thing with people and CGI. And the original is fantastic, so if it's the same thing, it should still be a good movie. It's just, it feels unnecessary. You know what I mean? I have no interest in watching it. I rewatched the animated film instead. Because, as Cogsworth says...
As I always say, if it's not Baroque, don't fix it.
So, won't be seeing that. On to gaming. Naturally, I have been playing a crap ton of Zelda. I, in fact, freed my second Divine Beast. I was very proud of myself. And I went to do a side quest to find one of the shrines, because some of the shrines you stumble across, but then some of them, like, you have to do something specific to get that shrine to show up. And thankfully, if it takes a challenge to get to a shrine, when you get to the shrine, it just gives you the orb. You don't have to actually do something in the shrine. So that, I appreciate that. Like, if it's a pain to get to, it just gives it to you once you're inside, because you've already met the challenge. So, they're like, oh, can you just go get one of them stone roasts and bring it back here for the Goron, and then we can break down this wall and get you to the shrine. And I'm like, done. I'd already taken care of a couple of enemies that were on the path to the stone roast. I go to get the stone roast, I come back, I turn around, and as soon as you pick up that stone roast, all of a sudden there's like, I thought there were 3, then I thought there were 4, now I think there might have been 5 crazy powerful enemies, and I'm like, what the F? And there's no way to sneak around or fake it or trick, because sometimes in Zelda you can find a way around certain problems without, there's multiple solutions to a problem. So I was like, oh hell. I'm like, you're gonna wait for this, and I dropped the stone roast and teleported out of there because I was not strong enough. I died a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not happening right now. So I'll come back later when I've got better weapons and armor and more hearts. But I also discovered the Master Sword. Unfortunately, you have to have a certain number of hearts in order to pull the Master Sword from the stone. And I do not have that many hearts yet. So, I got super excited, and then I was super depressed. So I am now currently, I'm currently wandering aimlessly, sort of. Because instead of going for the next area, for the next divine beast, I'm like, I've already freed 2 of the 4. And I don't want to keep doing that, because that's the main story, and there's all these other areas of Hyrule that I need to, like, open up on the map. And I mean, I just need to not open up, because you can go to them. But you want to climb the tower and map that area so you can see what's what. So I've been doing lots of other things, and I was like, what's down here? And I'm like, oh, it's Lake Hylia. And a dragon. There was a dragon. Freaked me out, but I was told that you don't actually have to fight it and kill it. You do have to, like, shoot at it and get, like, body parts for something. It's a side quest, something. I don't know. It might not be a side quest. Might be a main quest, but we won't be doing that yet. We're going to avoid that until I'm a bit stronger. It's a bit above my pay grade right now. But what delighted me was, in exploring the Lake Hylia region, there were enemies, and I was like, ah, crap. But they were a lot easier to kill. And I was like, oh, good. So it seems that the game doesn't level up with you. There's just certain areas that are going to be tougher than others, so if you find yourself in one of those, maybe backpedal and go someplace else. Because as I'm walking around, I'm like, okay, these guys aren't too bad, I can kind of handle this. Although, I do find myself avoiding fights when I can. Because as opposed to a regular RPG, where you want to fight so that you can level up your character, so that you can be stronger and beat the final boss, here, leveling up is, you know, getting more hearts and better weapons and upgrading your armor, and then fighting the final boss. So fighting random enemy encounters, all that does is let you use the weapons that the enemies drop. And of course get, like, materials. But if I don't need materials or weapons, I will avoid a fight, simply because it won't really serve any purpose. It's just going to slow me down and probably get me hurt and make me waste some of the food that I've cooked. And I was super annoyed, because in the Lake Hylia region, I was like, oh, like, there was a blood moon, and I was like, great, whatever. And then I came across a tower full of enemies, and I went, I don't feel like fighting them. I'm going to go around and sneak quietly at a distance, and then just go across the bridge. And I'm not going to fight them. And I'm so glad I didn't try to fight those enemies, because there was another blood moon. And I'm like, great, I would have probably knocked off a couple of the enemies, and then there would have been a blood moon, and they would have popped right back. This was literally, like, not even 5 minutes after the previous blood moon. Then, I paused the game to tweet, what the hell, with the blood moon, like, not even 5 minutes later after the previous blood moon, like, what's going on with that? I put my phone down, unpause the game, continue sneaking around to the bridge. I literally took, like, 5 steps, and there was another blood moon. Like, what the hell? Like, 3 blood moons in the space of, like, 5 minutes. Like, what is that all about? So, I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but that's not cool. So, whatever. But I'm loving Zelda, and I cannot justify purchasing Mass Effect Andromeda, which releases this week. Normally, if I was still at my old job, I would have that crazy long commute, and I would totally be like, whatever, like, I'll just play Zelda on the train, and I'll play Mass Effect at home. And then I could kind of justify it in my mind. But my commute is a fraction of that now, so I don't really play Zelda much on the train. I play it mostly at home. So I'm super into Zelda and not really looking to play Mass Effect right now. So it will have to wait. Which is good, because A, maybe I can get it on sale by the time I'm ready for it, and B, maybe they'll have tweaked the graphics and animation, because apparently people online are not impressed. There's some really wonky character animation and facial animation, and, like, the faces on the characters, like, apparently people are like, what the hell, they don't look good, and it's weird because they should look good because we're like a generation up, and I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition looked great, so why would Mass Effect somehow suddenly not look good? But I also read an article that said it's not that bad, and yeah, there are some wonky animations, and yeah, sometimes, but it's not as common. It's not like a constant thing. So, you know, every so often you encounter something, and I'm like, that's probably fine. Like, I'm gonna play it. It's just not yet. I did, as promised, however, take a break from Zelda a couple of times to play some No Man's Sky. Because I wanted to try out the new update. Now, I have not been back to my base to explore any of the new base building things or building a vehicle. I've not tried any vehicles yet. But I did want to try this new photo mode. And first of all, the graphics, like, the game was already pretty, but somehow they made it prettier. Like, just everything just seems more, like, vibrant and textured, and it's just, I don't know, but it's amazing. And the new photo mode is great, because all you do is you activate the photo mode from the quick menu, which I'm not crazy about their quick menu that they put in the last update, the last big update. It's not completely intuitive, it doesn't always work that good. You use the directional pad to go like down and then left, and then activate to go to photo mode. But what it does is it pauses the game, and then you can use the thumbsticks to move the camera up and down and around and stuff and in and out and really frame the picture. So you can leave your spaceship and shoot yourself flying through space. And then, like, when you're shooting the scenery, you don't have to position yourself into just the right spot or try to fly up into the air and take a quick snap before you plummet to the ground. You can literally, you're pausing the game and you can just move the camera however you want, angle it up and down, whatever, and get just the perfect framing. And not only that, you can, I was trying to position it so I could get the sun behind a planet to look really cool. You can actually click the right stick and reposition the sun in the sky so that you can see if you can find a better position and make your picture look even more amazing. Also, when there's animals, instead of trying to, like, turn off the HUD and get up close to the animal, which they get skittish and run away, so it's hard to get great close-up animal shots, now photo mode pauses the game. You can go right up to that animal, get just the right angle, frame it with the background, and get just the right framing, and it looks amazing. So, I was already stopping to take too many pictures in No Man's Sky anyway. I swear my PS4 hard drive is, like, chock full of No Man's Sky pictures and videos. So exploring was real slow going, but now with this new photo mode and the even prettier stuff, I'm not going to get a lot of exploring done. Like I said, I haven't even been back to my base to try to build vehicles or anything, because I'm having too much fun taking pictures. I haven't really used any of the filters. They've got, like, crazy filters and black and white and polarized and whatever, but they just look kind of weird, and I prefer the regular look of things. So I haven't really done a lot with the filters yet, but I might play around with them at some point. Because I also did something really stupid, and I saw a crashed spaceship, and I was like, ooh. And it actually has a couple less slots than the ship that I had, but it was a grade B ship, whereas my ship was a grade C, so it had, like, better shields and lasers. So I was like, ooh. So I start transferring my inventory, and suddenly realize, oh hell, I screwed this up. There's the new ship. When you find a crashed ship, apparently now the inventory slots are damaged. There's some open inventory slots, but then a bunch of them are damaged, and you have to actually repair inventory slots. But what's worse is you don't use resources to repair inventory slots. You actually have to pay credits to repair inventory slots, which is absurd and unrealistic. Like, I could see, like, okay, use iron and plutonium to fix an inventory slot. That seems more logical to me. But now I'm just, like, paying credits to my spaceship so we'll open up an inventory slot. It's absurd. So, it's expensive. And I swear to God, and each successive slot costs more than the previous one. So I feel like by the time I've repaired all of the slots on this ship, it'll cost way more than if I had just bought it. So maybe that can't be, but I feel like now I'm not interested in salvaging ships. I'm just going to buy them because then they won't be messed up. I don't know. But we're not going to be doing a lot of that because there's Zelda. So I will be back next week to talk more about Zelda, probably, and whatever else I've done. So I will see you then. Have a good week. See you next time. Bye!